What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, One Degree, where me and my brother Reedy, we're trying to move the needle of consciousness 1 degree so that we can all be better, live better, love humanity, all that. I am Akashic, the Ancient of Days, and we got a really interesting topic today. Reedy, tell us what we're talking about today, man.
We're going to talk about that. I am, and what that means and what power that has. See where it goes, man.
Some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
So now, I know like I said, we don't script these or whatever, but I want you to tell our viewers what it is that compelled you to bring this topic about today.
Well, you asked me what I wanted to talk about this next one,
Hmm.
and I said, let me sleep on it. Let me let me give it a night and sleep on it. And I meditated the night before on it, and then I slept, and I had the strangest dream I've ever had in my life that night. I I woke up just completely confused, didn't know what had just happened. I was in a dream uh, with people I've never met before. Nobody in the dream was familiar to me. The
Hmm.
place wasn't familiar to me. Uh, we were leaving some kind of event, and I was with a group of people. And I'm just going to give, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I ended up writing 4 pages trying to remember this dream. But it's similar to our world, but like different, almost like sci-fi, like vehicle vehicles similar to buses. Um, there were something similar to a train. The people had dogs that were slightly different, almost alien. Houses were different. The food was slightly different. It looked like the meat was raw
You,
that
you
we were
you
eating. But
tapped into another frequency.
right, so I wake up and I'm so confused by all of it. Like, what what was that? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I ended up writing it down 4 pages later, and what what came to me was that I have the ability to create an entire world that I've never seen before, that I didn't give thought to. It just my subconscious mind created an entire different world, different than this one, very similar but different.
Hmm.
And it's something that, if you believe that consciousness is God, that you create with your subconscious mind, um, it just gave me confirmation that I have that ability in me. Because at first, early on in this, you think I created all this, like, and not just me, all of us,
Hmm.
and we're all this same shared consciousness,
The
and
creator and the created is not
yes,
separate. The
and
observer and the observed is not separate.
exactly, and I am is the name of God, the creator. God said it in Exodus. Was it Exodus 14? Moses,
314.
yeah, yeah, asked God who he should say what his name was to when he went back, and he said, I am that I am. And then Jesus said it all through the New Testament, like
Oh yeah.
almost to test them, you know what I mean? To see what, like he said, John 8:58, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was I am. This is when the Jews were asking him, how would you know Abraham? You're not even 50. You're
Right.
not old enough to know who Abraham is. Then they were going to stone him for saying that. And he said, I'm the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the door of the sheep. I am come that they have life and they have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. These are all different scriptures, but
Yeah. Yeah.
he said all through the New Testament, he used it all the time. I am the true vine. And it was back to that. It was pointing back to that same thing. The name of God is I
Hmm.
am. And I feel like for me, if God's name is I am, to me, using his name in vain would be to put anything negative after that, like so many people do. Broke, sick. any lack after that, you're manifesting that for yourself. If you believe that, if that's your frequency,
Yeah.
that's what you'll have.
And like you said, it's Exodus 3:14. This is I am that I
Yes.
am.
Yes.
And that is the first tense. And the second tense of I am is God is. So anything you put after I am, you are declaring God to be. That's why, like in Joel 3:10, it says, let the weak say, I am strong. And like in First Corinthians 3:16, it says, know ye not that you are the dwelling place of God? There's no separation. You whatever you say I am to, you're declaring God to be.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's missed by most, and we all do it. We all say I am and put something after it, and that's what your beliefs are, and that's what you continually have. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
you base your beliefs on what you've seen, not faith, not trust in what you know is possible. What I mean, we are the creators of our universe. We
Hmm.
manifest everything, whether we realize it or not. We're doing it.
See, like in the original Hebrew text, where it says I am, the letters are YHWH. And the Hebrew pronunciation for that is Yahweh. But the true Hebrew word for that is Yod He Wah. And it is derived from Hebrew that and it means to be or he brings into existence. And then the word I am is attributed to that. So
Hmm.
that's the original Hebrew text is YHWH, which means to bring into existence, whatever you say I am to.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, we do it whether we realize we're doing it or not. And whatever you manifest with those words, you get in your reality. You know,
Yep.
whatever you speak those words to, and not just in your speech and your thoughts and your feelings, what you believe is true inside.
But now this is kind of, the caveat is that even though whatever you say I am to becomes created, that doesn't necessarily mean that God has a personality.
Hmm.
The absolute worst thing that religion has done to the human condition is try to give God a personality. It
Hmm.
has tried to anthropomorphize God into having human emotions. And that's just not the case. God doesn't have human emotions. God just is. God is equal to the use of this power is equal. It doesn't matter. There's no morality that's built in this. It's just it's a universal laws that we adhere to whether we know it or not.
Yeah, yeah. You know a lot more about the science of it than I do, and I'm learning. I'm studying. I'll get there. I am there.
You are
I
there.
misspoke. I am there because, yeah, because I know I am because I live in the end.
Yeah, and the thing about God is that when you God has people want to think that it's so hard to find God. God has never hidden itself from any of us. It reveals itself in nature. And most people want God to be what they want it to be instead of what it really is. God shows its existence in nature through its laws. It's us that veer off of the path. God is just steady. Nature always seeks growth. Nature always seeks abundance. Nature always discards the weak. That's just a fact.
Yeah,
God, the universe, the bigger stars will always consume the smaller stars. God always grows and expands, and that's just a fact. But the church wants to give God emotions, which when you declare God, and I'm not talking about the I am at this particular time. I'm just talking about
yeah,
giving God a personality. When you declare God as something, you're also saying that it's not something. And God is everything, so God cannot be everything. That's why, like in Isaiah 45:7, where it says, I create the light and the darkness. I, the Lord, do all these things. You can't say God is one thing, because if you do, then you negate it as another thing. That's why,
Mm,
like, I know people, these football players and basketball players and these athletes and actresses and all this stuff. And when they go on TV after their games and they're like, I want to give God the glory for this victory. So in essence, you're saying God rooted for you, but didn't root for the other guy.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
you
And
can't you can't declare that God is this without
yeah,
negating that it's that. It's just a
yeah.
fact.
I for sure thanked him for a win here or there.
And that's the hardest thing it is when I'm trying to teach people is to make a person who's their whole life pictured God as having a personality to give that up. Because
Yeah,
what you have to understand is that to have a personality is Latin for persona, and persona means to have a mask. That's why, like in those plays in the Greek or whatever, they had those masks to project a person's feeling.
yeah, yeah,
They put the
yeah,
mask over their face. For God to have a personality would mean that God has a mask, and God can't have a mask.
yeah.
God is only can be its own true essence. That's it.
Being, which
Being.
is what all of nature does. Aside from us, we think we have to control it somehow. We try to. I
That's
know I
because
did.
Satan, the ego, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Man, I recently watched an old movie from when I was young that I loved with my wife who hadn't seen it. Um, and as I'm watching these characters, I'm thinking, man, I can see aspects of my character that I picked up from characters from stuff I watched when I was young. Like it affected the person I'm like, if I liked something about a character, I would try to adopt that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
because of the things that we've seen, the people we've been around, the things that we liked, we tried to pick up, and the things we disliked, we tried not to do. You know what I
man. When I
mean?
was a
Just
kid, man, I tried to be Tony Dorsett.
yeah.
I'm Tony Dorsett. You can't tackle me.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, and I was Bruce Lee and John-Claude Van Damme and yeah, it's silly. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's exactly right. It's a mask. It's not who we are.
it's
We
not.
are we are the creators of this world. You know what I mean? And we're experiencing it through these bodies.
And that's the thing is that people want to think of God as rewarding or punishing people.
Yeah.
And the true nature of the universe is that God doesn't reward or punish, it resonates.
Mm.
And it resonates through your R vibration, period.
Yeah.
Whatever you're vibrating, the universe, God resonates it back. It's truly a mirror universe. Whatever if you resonate positivity, positivity will flow to you. If you resonate negativity, negativity will flow to you. That's just the universe doesn't judge, it doesn't reward or punish, it resonates. And if you understand that, you're halfway above most of the people in the world anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, until now,
Yeah.
we changed that.
If you plant an apple seed, you're not getting a mango tree.
No.
The
No,
earth
absolutely not.
must produce the seed that you put in. That's the same way with your vibration. The universe must produce the seed you put into it. You cannot be one thing and resonate another thing. It just does not work that way.
No.
It has nothing
Absolutely.
to do with a personality. I mean, whatever you plant, you will what you reap, what you sow.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I said, we do it without realizing it. If you're not paying attention, if you have thoughts of lack, thoughts of uh, being broke or sick or struggle, that's what you'll have.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's the hardest thing I think to change is that inner belief that you have of not being able to have something. You know what I mean? Everything's available to us if we believe. It's changing that getting rid of all that doubt and that fear, that negativity, and it's for me, it's just been constantly trying to get back centered and trying to be slower to react
Hmm.
and trying to not let negative vibrations grow and give even attention to them when I feel it. I immediately got to come back from it. Like we talked about before,
Hmm.
I usually think of Psalms 46:10 maybe.
Yep, that is. Be
Be
still.
still, and know that I am God. Yeah, I need to get better with those scriptures. I am better
The
with those scriptures. I know them all.
thing about it is that we are all vibratory creatures.
Yeah.
And that's why we call God the Most High, because God is the most high vibratory thing.
Mm,
And God is a constant vibration. Um, and we're the one who gets out of line with that vibration. The vibration of God is steady. So we're the ones that need to get ourselves back on track. God is just the most high. It's the most high vibration in nature, in creation, and everything resonates from that. We're the only creatures that resist.
yeah. Yeah.
We are the only ones.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't it's more of a not knowing. You know what I mean? Like you said, we were deceived. The fall
Yes.
of man. We don't
And
know any
the
better.
system, the laws, they are unapologetically equal.
Yeah.
As long as you are clear on what you are, the universe will resonate that back to you. It doesn't know necessarily what man's concepts of bad or good or morality. Morality can never supersede law. Law is always on top. Morality can never supersede law, even though we want it to. We need the world to be just. We need karma to exist.
Yeah.
We need people to pay their price. We need them to serve justice. The universe doesn't work like that. The universe works on frequency. That's why karmatic justice in an eye for an eye does not exist, because the universe doesn't care about your action. The universe cares about your intent, and your intent is the frequency. I'll give you an example. If you if you accidentally hit someone,
Hmm.
the action was you killed somebody, possibly, hopefully not. It's just an
Mm,
example. The action is that you hit somebody, but your frequency, your intent wasn't that. You was just driving down the street. You wasn't on a mission, whatever. So the universe always will function on your intent. Your intent was not to hit someone. And um the karmatic law, as in an eye for an eye, cannot exist in the universe, because the universe always will operate on your frequency. It will operate on your intent. That is the law, and that's just how it is.
mm.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Now,
It's a
Jay, I'm about to take you to some higher level stuff, man.
yeah. I knew that I was nowhere near where you were going to be at with this. But I just the focusing on that I am has helped me a lot. It's helped me keep myself centered and find my peace when I feel like I'm losing it or getting a bad vibration. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
need to reset.
So I'm about to tell you, I'm about to give you and the audience, the world, some esoteric, deep meaning behind the I am that you may not have, you may have realized it and whatever, but I would say you probably haven't.
I'm sorry.
But this is some esoteric stuff. So, so in Matthew, I think 3 verses 5. Let me look that up. Let me look this up real fast. I want to make sure I say it right. Ooh, gotta love cell phones, boy. The Bible's so quick on the cell phones, ain't
Yeah,
it?
the Bible app.
Yeah, ain't got to turn no pages. Um, Maybe it's 5 verses 3. Oh, here, yep. Matthew 5 verses 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's a deep one. Yeah,
Yeah.
wrap your head around that for a second, Jay. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. When you put so much thought into what God is and what God is not, anytime you define God, you confine God. So this scripture is saying that when you get all your concepts out the way, all your thoughts about what God should be and shouldn't be, God is a jealous God, God is a wrathful God, God is a loving God, and all this other stuff. When you get out the way, then the kingdom of heaven will be revealed to you. God will be revealed to you because God, the, all truths. Okay, Jay, I got so much about to pop out of my head. The Kabbalion, which I'm home now, the Kabbalion, the first Hermetic principle of the Kabbalion is the law of mentalism. The law of mentalism says that all exists in the mind of the all. All is in the all, and all is all. That means that there's nothing that is not God. Everything that exists is God. Now, um, the statement I am, when Moses asked God what its name was, you have to flip this mindset and think of it in terms of God. Now, not in terms of us receiving what God said, but in terms of God. From God's perspective, where there is nothing but itself, then it cannot compare itself to anything else because to God, it's all that there is. So when God can't say I am infinite, because to be infinite means you are comparing it to something finite. And because God is everything, it has nothing to compare itself to. So the all truths are half truths. So anything we put behind the I am comes from the finite mind, which is only a half of truth. Because if I say I am tall to anybody shorter than 6 feet. But if I go into the Lakers locker room, I become short.
Yeah.
So all truths are half truths. There's only one truth, and that is I am stop. So God can't compare itself to anything else because it knows nothing else. So God can't say I'm infinite or I'm loving or I'm good or I'm bad because there's no duality because there's nothing in existence other than God. So there's only one true statement in existence, and that is I am, coming from God's perspective, not from the finite's mind perspective, because God can't compare it to anything else. All it can say is, I am. I don't know anything else. I don't know what infinity is because I can't, there's no contrast in me.
Yeah.
That's heavy,
There's
ain't it?
well, there's no way to describe it.
There's
Like
no way to describe it. It's from
yeah.
God's perspective.
Yes. Yeah. It is all things. And that doesn't cover it.
You can't.
Yeah.
How can you describe what you are if you're all things? The only
Yeah.
thing you can say is I am.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only truth in existence. All other truths are half truths.
So so is I would assume that that's why that holds so much power.
It does. Because God is like water. Anything you put water in, it forms the shape of that item.
Becomes
It's
that.
malleable. Whatever we say that it is, it becomes that. Because if we're vibrating at the frequency of abundance, the malleable substance of God becomes abundance. If we vibrate at the frequency of hell, the malleable substance, this reality, becomes that. Because there's nothing that is not God. There's only one true thing. I am. Period. Nothing else. That's
And
it.
that ultimately is whatever we believe it is
We
to
shape the
us.
substance of God.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
You
That's
chose this subject.
well, I mean, because it it stuck out to me this entire time. This is something that I've said multiple times, that there's something to I am for sure. And and there's something to when we use it, when we say it, when we think it.
Absolutely.
It's just it is. It is.
God can't know anything other than itself. So he can't even describe itself because
Yeah.
it's everything.
Yeah.
So how can you describe something
Yeah.
other than yourself when there's nothing other thing than you?
I am.
Our finite minds can't wrap our minds around that. So we use words like infinity, the infinite intelligence, this and that, because we live in a comparative world of
Right.
duality, which really doesn't exist in God's world because there's nothing but God.
Wild.
I'm sorry, bro.
No, no, I love this, man. I love getting even deeper meaning from this. You know what I mean? This is
That's why that scripture is so important. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Those who don't wrap their minds around God's got to be this, God's got to be that, God's going to send you to heaven, God's going to send you to hell, all this other stuff. Blessed are the poor in spirit that doesn't have a concept of God. Once you get you out the way, then you can see God clearly. God is not hiding from us. It's showing itself all around us right now.
it's not what church told me, man.
I,
Wow. I guess it meant more in church, like being humble, being I don't know.
humility, the universe doesn't care about humility.
Yeah.
There's bad people who have a lot of things, and there's good people who don't have anything.
Yeah. What was the
You can be
scripture?
humble all you want.
Yeah, what was the scripture the rain on the just and the
And
unjust?
unjust. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The universe, what Paul say is that one thing that I have come to perceive is that God has no respect of person. No respect of person. So
Yeah.
this is another concept now. This is just a concept that I came up with. Is that when a substance such as God has solved every mathematical problem, composed every music, uh, has solved every single problem, then the only next logical step for it to do is to find out what it is. And you can't find out what you are from outside of yourself. The only way to find out what you are is to go inside yourself. So God had to create this matrix in the mind of God, like the Hermetic principle says, all is in the mind of God. God had to go inside itself and create this matrix and create this world and forget itself to understand what it is. Because God, the only question left after you solve every problem is, what am I? That's the only question. That's the only question left after you solve every math problem, every music note, every equation, everything. The only thing left you have is, what am I? And the only way you can find out what you are is to go inside yourself. So if we are all thoughts in the mind of God, God is having a experience. He's having a dream like you did. He's created this world to understand what itself is. And once it has experienced itself in every possible way, it only has one conclusion to come to, and that is, I am limitless. That's
Mm.
the only conclusion it can come to. So it has to experience itself within by forgetting itself to come to that conclusion to learn what it is. That's
It's interesting you brought the dream up as you're saying that. I forgot something about the dream where I didn't share this part of it. It was not me in the body, but it was definitely my awareness,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Yes, total
And
sense.
and the entire seeing all these things that made no sense to me, I never felt uneasy or scared or any negative emotions. I was just aware. I was just watching it unfold and watching it all happen. And yeah, it I don't know, it was a dream, but it definitely made me feel like God's telling me something. Like
Absolutely.
you,
He was revealing itself to you.
yeah, yeah, this is what it is. You're in this world that I created, and you're just being aware of it. You're not supposed to be affected by it. You're
And
not
then
supposed to let it.
the next level to this, though, Jay, is this. In this matrix, in the mind of God, as God learns itself, it is a recursory effect, which means that the matrix keeps improving upon itself. It keeps getting better and better. So if you think of the nature of reality, we started out in a primordial state.
Mm,
And now every time as time goes on, nature is recursive. It keeps improving, improving. And it's like compounding with money. At first it goes slow, and then once you get to a certain level, boom, it takes off.
yeah,
So now look at us from 20 years ago to now. Nature was slow, slow, the medieval times, all this other stuff. And now all of a sudden, boom, technology's taken off. And
yeah,
time seems to have shrunk. And what this means is that God is connecting the dots. Everything is going faster because it's compounded. Now everything's going faster and faster. All the dots are connecting. All the dots are connecting. And then once God comes to that conclusion of I am limitless, then it resets. That's that's a deep esoteric meaning of all this, man.
very deep, very deep. And as we evolve, like just in our short time here, um, I think the point is to get here to realize,
Because
to remember,
consciousness is becoming aware.
yeah, to realize who we are, what we are.
And in doing that, the infinite realizes what it is.
Yes,
I am. That's that's the deeper hidden meaning of that, brother.
I am.
I
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I know
Always.
that probably was deeper than you thought it was gonna go, huh?
Well, I knew. I never doubt that. I know there's a lot more than I'm aware of so far. You know what I mean? And again, I'm new to this. I'm hey, I'm reading
I,
books. No, no
I've
more
never
audio
told
books.
anybody what I told you today, so now I've
Yeah,
told the world.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
because
yeah. And it makes sense to me, man.
we always look at God from our finite perspective. You have
Right.
to flip the script. Look at it
Yeah,
from God's infinite perspective of
yeah,
nothing else but itself.
right.
So it can't be anything because it's everything.
Yeah, yeah. And it without an experience of life of being, how would you understand it or know it?
And you can't know yourself from outside yourself.
Yeah, you have to
Just
go
like we
within.
have to go inwards, it goes inwards.
He's the example.
The law of mentalism. You got
Yeah.
to, everybody, get this book and read it. This is number one. All the books I suggested, read this one first. That's what I'm telling you. So get the audio book, Jay, because I know you ain't reading the
No,
words.
no, no. I'm actually I've gotten some of the books you told me about. I'm reading now. I'm reading now. I'm in the middle of Neville Goddard's
All right,
collection.
stop that. Read this because this is the base of all the laws that you got to function in the world today. So you
I will
got to
get it.
read this one first.
I will
This is
get
the
it.
base. This is the foundation of the house. This is the cement. Neville Goddard, all of them read this book.
Oh, for sure.
So, all right, Jay, we gotta wrap this up, brother. I love that you picked this. I love the back and forth that we can do.
Yeah,
This is how the podcast should be.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
this.
This is man, this is for me. Sorry. I know that you love it, but it's all for me, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I created this.
And I'm
So
glad
I
that
can
we can
grow.
share this with the world, bro.
Nah, yeah, I appreciate you, man. I really do.
And I appreciate you more. But all right, people, we're gonna wrap it up. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you really learned and listened to the words that my brother Reedy and I said. And we're gonna end it. And for my brother Reedy, I am Akashic, the Ancient of Days. See you in the next video.